It was a Wednesday evening, a dimly lit apartment in Brooklyn, and there was a pit bull circling me. And I stood there and thought, girl, when did you lose the plot? If you are a high capacity woman who is building something right now, stay with me, because what happened in that apartment is probably happening in your business right now too. And you don't even know it yet. If you've ever said yes to something and you immediately just fell off, kind of like that quiet wrongness that you just couldn't name, this video is going to explain exactly what that was. So the man I was dating at the time left 2 hours ago to run a quick errand. So I was still there and my legs were itching so bad from the dog dander that I was completely too polite to say that I was allergic to. So, I wandered into the kitchen for a snack. And that's when I saw the groceries expired. No, not dramatically, not months old, but slightly past their time, for sure. A day or two. So he owned a grocery store and always brought home things that he couldn't sell. So the fridge was full of things that had missed their moment, I'd say. So this isn't even about him. It's about me. How did I get here, y'all? And more than that, what did I leave behind to be here? So here's the thing. I wasn't lost in some very obvious way. I wasn't having a breakdown. I wasn't failing. I was actually trying to grow. I was trying to be open is what I told myself. I was being flexible. I was being available to something new. But I confused being open with abandoning myself. That distinction took me way too long to learn. And honestly, it's costing us right now. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what self-abandonment looks like inside your business, because it definitely does not look like what you think. I'm going to give you 3 questions to run before any major or big decision, and it has quietly changed everything for me. So stick around. So before I tell you the rest of the story, I just need you to understand something first. So everything I'm about to share is going to land differently depending on what season you're in right now in your business. So before we go any further, I need you to know. So first we have our rooting season, which means you're building the foundation. You are trying to get very clear before you build. So next we have expanding, which is when you feel that next level pulling you. And so here in this season, it'll help you understand the difference between clarity versus urgency. Then we have our sustaining season, which is protecting what is already working. So in this season, you are not trying to reinvent anything. You are refining. And lastly, we have recalibrating, which is when you know something is shifted and you're trying to actively find your new center right now. So I built this free quiz that tells you exactly what season you're in, and it only takes about 3 minutes. So the link is in the description, and you can take the quiz right after this video or even pause it right now, go take it, and then come back. Now, let's get back to this Brooklyn apartment. Either way you decide to do it, knowing what season you're in is going to make the rest of this, our little convo today, make a lot more sense. So let me paint this picture for you. My home, my actual home, was the complete opposite of this apartment. I'm talking big windows, bright sunlight always coming through. I had tons of plants that I actually tended to, real plants, y'all. The kind that make a room just feel alive, like it's actually breathing. I had artwork on the wall, and I had designed it very intentionally, the way I do everything in my life that I really care about. I designed my apartment for warmth, for creativity, for the feeling that life is growing inside of it. And I had been leaving that home repeatedly, voluntarily, to go sit in the dark, quite literally and metaphorically. So he was a local business owner. He was well respected and honestly someone I genuinely admired. The kind of person who built real things with his hands. And I was in a season of building my business, so I was like, this is great. You get me. So I told myself I was being open. I told myself different does not mean wrong. And I told myself, this is growth. This is growth. But he had the nerve to be dangling support in front of me and then go quiet or get an attitude when I'd make moves without him. So I kept adjusting, kept making myself a little bit quieter, a little bit smaller, and just kept overriding what I already knew because I was too focused on what he represented. So the day I told you he left to run errands, I decided to leave before he got back. As I was walking home, I saw him walking down the street with another woman. And this man hit me with the, "Oh, that's just my friend." Yeah, okay, cool. Cool story, bro. And at that moment, something said, "Wake up. You are not living up to the vision of who you know you are becoming." Now, I'm not sharing this story as a cautionary tale against men, although, sis, respectfully, it is that. So listen, I'm sharing this because this is the clearest mirror I have ever had of what self-abandonment actually looked like. And I've watched that exact same pattern show up over and over again in the way we run our businesses. But what does self-abandonment actually look like? Here's what I've come to understand. Self-abandonment in business, it doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't feel like a crisis. It actually feels reasonable. It looks like strategy. And it shows up in three very specific and unique ways. And honestly, I bet you have done at least one of them in the last 6 months. Number one, code switching until you lost the plot. So it's not the sometimes necessary type of code switching where you adapt to read context. Like, that's just human. I'm talking about the kind where someone told you your authentic voice wasn't professional enough. And I always say professional in quotes because what is that? But you then adjust it, you adapt it. Until one day you are creating content, or maybe you're sitting in a meeting and you genuinely cannot tell the difference between your voice and the one you put on for other people. That is not professionalism, that's disappearance. And a lot of people will reward you for it, which just makes it worse. Okay, so number two, working with people you already know their values do not align with yours. All have somebody in our orbit, a collaborator, a contact, an industry acquaintance who talks about everybody. Now listen, I'm all here for a good kiki, all right? A solid tea spilling session has its place, but there is a person who has nothing good to say about anybody, ever. And you already know what I'm talking about. If they're talking about those people to you, they're talking about you to those people. And you work with them anyway. You stay in the room anyway, because you think they may actually help you get ahead. So you tuck your little values back in, you go along to get along, and you end up making yourself palatable. That, my friend, is self-abandonment. It is slow, it is quiet, and it dresses itself up like it's being strategic or networking. And you may have told yourself it was temporary. It never is. Number three, chasing trends instead of listening to yourself. Chasing trends instead of listening to yourself. Somebody drop a beat on that. Okay, maybe not. So you see what's working for someone else, the niche that is slowly starting to pop off, the investment that is going viral, the style or the format that is getting a lot of attention. And you slowly just start to pivot towards it. And it's not because you care about it, because it's not even yours. So visibility feels urgent. And the thing that you actually care about feels slow, like it's going to take more time to develop. It feels very specific. It might even feel too much like you. So you trade the thing that is genuinely yours for the thing that is going to get more clicks, get more likes, get more attention. You may be successful. It may work, but you know it doesn't feel good inside when you're making it. Empty numbers are still empty. So we have three different situations, all with one root. You quieted yourself to be more palatable. You made one small accommodation, then another and another. And honestly, none of it felt dramatic. It all really felt strategic until one day you're running a business that technically fits your life, but it feels nothing like you. So what do you actually do instead? I run these three questions before every major business decision. A new offer, a new partnership, a new direction. These three every single time. Question one, does this require me to be someone I don't even like? Comfort of growth, like that's normal. That's supposed to happen. Deeper thing. Like, does this ask me to flatten myself? Form a version of you that doesn't actually fit. See, there's a difference between stretching and shrinking. And this question helps you figure out which one you're doing. Question two, Am I saying yes from desire, or is there fear of missing out? Big FOMO energy here. It can feel almost identical in the body, but the difference is this. So desire has a stillness under the excitement. It is a yes that feels grounded, even when it feels very scary. Fear has urgency behind it. It's that if not now, then never type of energy that makes us skip our own discernment just to take the big leap. If you are rushing yourself to make a decision, that's your answer right there. And question 3 is probably my favorite. It is, what does my body say before my mind has an opinion? This one can be hard if you spent years overriding yourself, but trust me, your nervous system always knows before your mind does. So that contraction or bracing, that held breath, or that expansion when something finally feels right and peaceful. I need you to start treating those signals as data, because it's exactly what they are. So these questions won't make every decision easy, but they will make them yours. Okay, so what does growing without losing yourself actually mean? I call it regulated expansion. And I want to be clear, this is not a slower growth or some type of consolation prize. This is more sustainable growth. This is growth that's actually going to hold up over time. Growth that feels like you 2 years from now. So Adrienne Marie Brown, who's the author of Pleasure Activism, says small is good. Slow is sustainable. Slow is connected to the pace of trust. So I don't come back to this all the time because I don't want big things. Trust me, material girl, I do. But it helps me to reframe what growth is even for in this process. Trust. It's the kind that you keep building with yourself as you keep choosing yourself. It's the kind your audience builds with you as you stay consistent, even when you evolve. So regulated expansion means your growth is traceable back to you. It means your values are built from the inside out and not toward a vision you're hoping your values can survive. So in January of this year, I named my 2026 Authentic Expansion with Peace. And what I've learned since I've named my year that is the word doing the most work is expansion. It's authentic, which means it's actually mine. So can I trace it back to what I actually believe, what I actually want, and what I'm actually built for in this season? Not what converts, and definitely not what someone else's coach told me or some online guru. What is genuinely, specifically, irreducibly mine. That is the work. That is the work, y'all. And it starts with choosing not to leave your bright, beautiful, intentionally designed home to go sit somewhere in the dark. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. Expansion that requires you to abandon yourself is not growth at all. All that is just a more expensive version of the same problem. You can hold everything that you desire in your life, and I promise you can stay intact. No one ever just told us that. So, child, we all learned it the hard way. If you haven't taken the clarity quiz yet, it is free. The link is in the description, and it only takes about 3 minutes. It will tell you exactly what season you're in so you know the right questions to be asking yourself right now. And if what came up for you in this video is something that you want to go deeper on, the Clarity Reset is my 90-minute one-on-one session. We take what you're building, what you're uncovering, and create your next move. It is not a template. It is not someone else's framework. It is yours. How it can actually support your real life. The link is in the description. And if this video resonated, please subscribe to my Substack, The Clarity Studio. I drop essays and practical tools every single week, and we go deeper on all the conversations that we have here. And I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for the next video, because when you put this video with that one, that is the real secret sauce.